What's up, guys? Zach Dixon from Players Launch here, episode 7 of reviewing player feedback. So if you don't know, on Players Launch, guys, if you go to my lounge right here, you can click the carousel. We got Rocket League, we got big Madden tournaments, we got weekend tournaments. You can also click this and it will take you to the feedback section. You can click and give us some quick feedback. Say, here's what you think. I think customer support's okay. I'm never gonna refer this to a friend. Zach, I'm like a 50 to 60 PLR. I've played 26 to 100 games. One thing that I do not like about Players Launch, or wish that we would do better, I think you should add blind matchmaking. There's one thing that you do like about Players Lounge, the community. What is one question you'd like to answer for you? When are you going to host bigger FIFA tournaments? Submit, right? So that comes in, bang, that was fast, right? It comes into this Google Sheets right here, and we're gonna go through some of that today and respond to player feedback. So this one I obviously just showed you guys, but first up for today is the Real Jug. Very satisfied with Players Lounge, not easy at all to find games. Community is pretty good, support is pretty good. We don't respond that quickly. Very likely to refer a friend. 70 to 80 PLR, he's played 26 to 100 games. He thinks it's too hard to find games. He likes the chat room. He says why he wants to know why he cannot block certain players or mute them. So Real Jug, thanks for the feedback, bro. We're definitely going to add a blocking or muting users feature. For the moment, it's just for moderators and admins. Will mute players who are being harassing or saying inappropriate stuff or spamming chat. So if you have that issue, just message customer support and we will take care of it for you. Next up is Lightning 15F. Pretty satisfied, pretty easy to find games, community's okay, support is good, responsiveness is okay, very likely to refer a friend. He says it takes very long time to start a match, should be 15 minutes, not 30 minutes. He likes the money prizes. He says he wants to know, how do I change my real first name and my real last name? I wrote wrong my first name and last name because I did not know about the website and was not secure to give my real name, but now I trust the site and want to give my real name, please help. So, Lightning, thanks for the feedback, bro. If you want to change your name on the site, you can just message customer support with a picture of your ID and they'll handle it for you, bro. So just message customer support, click that blue button in the bottom right corner of the site. Next up is TTV Cool Jag Dash. Pretty satisfied, pretty easy to find games, community's okay, support's okay, pretty likely to refer a friend. He says, one thing I do not like about Players Launch is how really good players with amazing stats make a new account, Smurf account, on Fortnite and make it seem like they are new to the game and intentionally have terrible stats so that when opponents search him up for his stats, they think that it would be an easy match for them to earn money. But in reality, they're actually being baited into a trap. You know what I mean? There are a few players on Players Launch who do this. There are also too many emails. So TTV Cool Jag Dash, good point about the Smurf accounts. We try our best to prohibit players from doing this, and duly noted about there being too many emails. We are building the app. Hopefully that will be live in the next few months, and that will greatly reduce the number of emails that you're getting from us because it's all going to be push notifications on your phone. One thing I like about Players Launch is that it is easy to use and user-friendly. It is also professionally appealing. He says, if one turns 18 but has been playing before he turned 18, can they still withdraw money once they turn 18? So you have to be 18 plus to play on the site. If we find out that you're not 18 plus, we're gonna lock your account and refund the money that you deposited. You can withdraw money after you're 18, but if you sign up and start playing before you're 18, that's an issue, Jag Dash. So just please don't do it. You can message customer support if you want to talk to them more about that. Next up, no username, pretty good feedback. None, he likes betting money, and no question for us, okay? Thanks for the good feedback. Next up is similarly good ratings, and he says he does not like that He sees people who are online when they aren't online. He likes everything about Players Lounge. He wants us to make it easier to find people online ready to play. Good point. We are trying to make things easier for people to get games faster all the time. Next up is Ben R194. Not satisfied, not easy to find games. Community's okay, support's pretty good. Not very likely to refer a friend. His PLR is above an 80. That's why he finds it hard to find games. He says, if you're rated 80, you can't get matches unless you lose games on purpose to lower your rating. Great concept for a website. He says, I am a pro player, and I'm sorry to say, if this site is going to run like that, I'm not going to encourage people to come on the site because high-skilled players don't get a game and lower-rated PLR make more money than people with high PLRs. What will you do to help players with 80-plus PLR to get games because a lot are not getting any currently, even with advantages? So, Ben R194, good question. We are currently building a blind matchmaking feature so that players will have to play the game when they join it. It's going to be different than regular games, but in this scenario, you will not be able to see what your opponent's rating is, and so when you join the game, you got to play him. So this should help a lot for players 80 PLR and above. Next up is Pierce. Pierce is actually on the support team, so I think he did this as an actual joke. He can't think of anything he dislikes, too many good things to list. He says, when will you make a staffed calendar? I hear Luca has the physique of a Bengal tiger. Luca is also on our support team, and he's a pretty fit guy. It's pretty crazy. I've already done all those orange ones. So next up is SH Trey 9. Pretty satisfied, not easy to find games. Communities not that great. Support is really good, very likely to refer a friend. He says, I do not like that people can see my PLR because it's impossible to find a game. The layout is very simple and easy to find what you need. Did you guys ever consider or would consider adding a new tab called Suggested? And there you can see all the players online. This would maybe make it easier to find a game. Did you guys ever consider or would consider adding a new tab? So I think you're talking about on the match page, opponents that are suggested to you, like this one. But I think you're asking for that to be a completely different type of tab. So that's not something that we've thought about, but we're definitely working on making it easier to find opponents. And I understand that it's hard to get a game if you're an 80-plus PLR. We're trying to work on that. So Shatray9, thanks for the feedback, bro. Next up, no username feedback. Decent marks across the board. Doesn't think our customer support responds that fast. PLR is above an 80. He says, to be honest, the site is great for very skilled players, but once you start winning a lot of games, your PLR starts to increase. Once you've reached 80 PLR or above, people are very hesitant to play you because it's intimidating. I understand the fact that players have a choice to decide who they want to play with, whether it's above or below their PLR, but at times it gets impossible to find matches for players with very high PLR. I know a lot of players already discussed and talked about this problem before, but I would like to see a bounty system or an incentive for lower PLR players to play higher PLR players. Anyways, those are my ideas and fruitions. Thank you and take care, Shorta. Oh, well, that's a very sweet message, Shorta. Thanks for writing it, brother. He says he's simple and easy to use and you can make a good, decent amount of money from it, smiley face. Will there ever be an app for the site? It will make it 100x easier. So definitely, Shorta, we're gonna launch that soon. And understand about the PLR. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to do blind PLR, blind matchmaking where you won't be able to see your opponent's PLR. So stay tuned on that. A couple more. Next up is Zoa. Good marks across the board. 80 plus PLR. He says he does not like PLR. I am rated 92 on FIFA and it's so hard to find a game. You would get so many players and matches played if you got rid of it. Look at CMG, UMG. They have so many users and you could be the same. Everyone is too scared to play people with 80 plus PLR. If they're willing to play for the amount they're posting, PLR shouldn't be a thing. So Zoa, I don't agree with you on this. There are not a ton of people playing on sites where there is not a rating system. For players that have a super high rating, I know this is what you guys want, but I don't think that that works with thousands and thousands of players because I'm like a 55, 60 PLR in Fortnite, and I'm just like not gonna have a good time playing for money against a player who's like an 85 plus. But I want to play people for like 10, 20, or 50 bucks that are in my skill range. So I understand your feedback, and we're working on it, man. So I appreciate it. He likes the big prize tournaments. Question is, please remove PLR. I know you will say give them advantage, but it shouldn't be like that. If you want to play for what you're posting, you shouldn't pick who you want to play. So again, Zoa, I don't agree with that, but I appreciate your opinion, and thanks for the feedback, bro. Next up, no response. Skips a lot of questions. Why verification taking so long? Nothing else. So I think he's talking about the ID verification, which we're working on. But anyways, last up for today, Stoked 93. Pretty good marks. Community's okay. Support speed is okay. Very likely to refer a friend. He says, I don't like that NBA and Madden are a combined channel. There are enough players for each game that splitting the channels up wouldn't be a big deal. He does like the service fees. I always wanted to make a website like Gamersaloon with just better service fees. Never followed through, but I'm glad somebody capitalized on it. Well, Stoked 93, thank you for the feedback. Good point about splitting the Madden and NBA chats. I think I agree that it's just about time, I think, that we split those up. So anyways, guys, that is it for today. See you next time.